Good afternoon, guys. This is Chris Dunn, and today is Tuesday, May 12th. I'm going to give you a market review here on the ES. We know that right here at about market open, we had momentum to the upside. We also had a trend line, zero line mid-band. We were on the wrong side of the LRC here, and we were coming off of a bit of a double top with divergence. So being on the wrong side of the LRC and coming off of divergence at a resistance area, even though you're at a support area, it's just not high. It's not a high probability area. You're not sure if this thing is going to break through this resistance. So this area has an area of support, but again, it's on the wrong side of the LRC and it's coming off resistance with divergence that is held. So this is really not a high probability area, and for this reason, what happened right here, you just don't know if this thing's going to break out and continue the trend or break down. When it breaks down, you can see the momentum really shifts to the downside very quickly with a lot of momentum, and really doesn't give you a nice entry on the 610 until about just shy of 10 o'clock, right around 10 o'clock actually. We pull up. This is actually a nice number 3 entry, head and shoulders. Market just closed. Head and shoulders on the 233, and it was in between the LRC and the midband here, but it was with momentum, and you did have a nice little pattern there. So again, if you're not taking it at the absolute best area, then you might have passed on this. It got a little bit range bound because it was on the wrong side of the LRC, and you had potential for divergence at a double bottom. Again, some people would have been enticed to take a reversal trade with this divergence on the wrong side of the LRC, but again, that's why we stay with momentum, because the probability is that this thing's going to carry out. So once we break that, we break divergence, we go into high momentum, and we actually have an extension point that is hit down here, and once you get over extended from this outer band, you could have covered anywhere from 900 all the way up to 901.50, somewhere in this box. All right, this is my favorite trade of the day. We pull back to the mid-band and zero line, and we have a nice entry here at the price area. Even though we're on the wrong side of the LRC, if you look at the distance we have to the LRC and the outer band, it gives you plenty of risk reward. When we get down there, the 233 actually gives us divergence and gives you a chance to get out. This was a nice little 2.5 to 3 point run here. We pull up and we do the same thing. We don't quite make a higher high, but we do pop a little bit above the zero line and the midband here. So this was a little bit aggressive, and you can see that we are actually still on the wrong side of the LRC, and it's angled up a little bit. So this was a little bit less probability, and if you took this could have been a break even for you. We go flat through lunch. And actually here at about 11:30, I just want to point these areas out, even though it is close to noon. We break down, pull back, have a bear flag at the zero line, LRC and midband, and this was actually a nice number 2 entry on the 233. Pull back, you could have covered at support here on the Bollinger Band, pulled back, deep retracement to the LRC and midband, really nice entry here, carried out to the 100%. Nice little 5-point potential on that trade, and you can see we have one more chance. Pull back to the LRC, we have distance to the outer band, and it gets a little range bound. We eventually make it down, get divergence, and that is just shy of the 138%. So after this, we get a very convincing shift in momentum, not really anywhere at this point or this point, but up here we actually break above and we pull back to the midband and LRC, have an extension up to the 100%. You could have carried that out. You have one more entry point here, takes you overextended. If you held through this high momentum, this box when the BBs are way above the zero line, if you held through this, you could have trailed your stop behind 906 and possibly pulled off another 2 or 3 points. Last exit was when you pull back inside of the LRC here with divergence, and you can see we carry out, have big time divergence here on the 610, and now the momentum is actually shifted and the market just closed. So pretty active day, nice movement, nice trade setups. If you were patient and waited for the best of the best areas, you could have pulled off some nice profits today. Enjoy the video.